Sometimes dead is better.
And so begins another month of Neon. I am your host, Nate, and with me, as always, Charlie and Pete. Say hello, Charlie.
I am here.
And so is Pete. Say hi,
What
Pete.
what do you mean another month of neon? Have we or another movie in the
Pete,
neon month?
Pete,
Another
we've
movie.
we've
Let me
redone
just-
this five
yeah.
times already. Please stop correcting
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Okay?
Let me
Let's-
do my thing. Where...
I'll fix it later.
No, he
It's
won't.
totally
He'll say
fine.
that. Then
I
he
thought
leaves
this was
that
part of the
part in,
shtick.
and then it makes it like, oh, great. He left that
Go ahead,
part
start
in.
over.
Saying he was-
That's the joke.
Yeah.
doesn't feel like a joke. Feels like a man doesn't want to cut it out of an edit.
I get tired of clicking. That's really what it is.
Go ahead, Nate. Start over.
Oh, we're not leaving that? I would have left
I
it.
don't know.
No.
You
Well,
said
we-
you're gonna. Start
This all stays now. This,
All right,
this
stay
is
now.
it.
Son
Hi
of a
guys.
bitch.
My
This
name
could be
is
someone's
Pete. This
first
is
time
fun.
ever listening to us.
Oh boy.
You might as
Hope
well
not.
drop them in the
Yeah.
deep end first.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So what is our neon month of the day? Nate?
Neon day, month, week. We're doing Neon Maniacs this week. I still don't have a
Yes.
voice.
Aw.
It's awful. We're the only podcast that's not sponsored by Fudge Rounds, for all I know.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Are Steven and Leo sponsored by Fudge Rounds?
I don't know. No one lets me know what the in is to get unlimited Fudge Rounds in our pockets.
Where did Fudge Rounds come
Where
from,
did that
Pete?
come
What's
from?
going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I think
I got a Fudge Round off to the side waiting to be
Oh my
eaten.
God.
I think along with this voice, Nate's brain has taken a vacation. Thanks, Nate.
A little bit.
Well, too long in between recordings with you two. That's what's happened
That's
here.
what
It's
happened.
true. It's been a while
Gotta
with
take a
schedules
week
and
off.
everything. We had to rearrange a bunch of stuff, and we're going to go back to back here pretty quick.
That's right. So for our month of Neon, we are covering the movie Neon Maniacs.
Nice save there.
I thought I
That's a
would
good
try.
save. You could
your
cut that
your
in.
voice is in and out, so I'll be here to support you any chance I can.
Thank you. I definitely
I'll
need you to
help you,
pick me
Nate.
up. No, all right. That was last Thursday. That's why we couldn't record Neon Maniacs.
We could have got Steven and
this.
he
the
could have
whole
just
time.
done his delivery boy shtick. Okay, Mr. Pete, I'll get it going. The whole crack. I can't even do it. My voice is so damn deep, but it's all fine.
Well,
Come on, John Lovitz. We're off the rails right
So-
now.
You heard us talk about Psycho Gorman. Then you followed up with our love letter to Mandy. And now we decide to do a cold watch where all three of us had never seen Neon Maniacs,
never
but figured,
seen this.
hey, the title Neon is in it.
It's
The
in
word neon's in the
It
title.
fits.
So maybe there'll be like a lot of neon in this one. And it's from the 80s and it's got monsters.
Mhm. And it was
And
on
there's,
Tubi,
like-
so it was free.
Yeah. 0% neon. I mean, we got
No,
lied to.
there's
Well,
10%
there's-
neon.
Yeah, like at the dance later
What,
on.
the
There's
Battle of
there's
the
neons
Bands?
at
Yeah.
the of the two bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was neon in the background.
There was
They had-
neon.
You had the Duran Duran band and then you had the Poison band.
Yes,
That was
yeah.
your choices.
I don't even know if it was Duran Duran. They were pretty soft. It was
All,
almost Buddy Holly, you know.
all I could think about was with the second band came out was that scene in Simpsons where it's like, and now Poison. I thought we were, or was it White Snake? I was like, well, the drum kit says we're Rat or whatever it is. Like they don't even know what band they are.
They were
And-
Cyanide, a loving tribute to Poison, which is
Oh.
still one of my favorite Simpson jokes.
That's very funny.
Oh, it is. I actually like that band. I want to party with those guys. We'll get to those guys in a little bit.
A little bit.
I'm gonna take the bullet for this one, guys, because Nate and I were going over like what movies can we put on the month of Neon. You know, we had 3 set, which was
Easy.
PG, Mandy, and Turbo Kid. Boom,
yeah.
done, done. So we needed a horror. So I literally typed in neon horror movie, and Neon Maniacs kept coming up, and the cover was neon colored. It had monsters on the still shots. Nate goes, no. And I was like, all right, let's keep looking. And then I
but
brought
the
it
reason
up.
I said no was I wanted something that we were all familiar with.
I know. But then
And
I
then
kept looking. And then I went, you sure? Come
And I
on.
went,
This says
no.
no. He went, no again. We're
Notice how
literally-
I'm not in this conversation at all.
Oh,
Look,
Pete was out he was
Yeah,
blowing
because
his
yours would
horn.
have been like, well, I know this really cool Japanese anime that involves
Yeah.
neon and tentacles. And I'd be like,
Neon
that's-
Genesis
no.
Evangelion. Yeah,
No.
that's where I would have gone.
We already knew not to. So
Yeah,
So-
you weren't allowed in on this one.
Nate and I sat down over Zencaster and was like, all right, let's figure this out. And I finally bent his arm where he goes, all right, you watch the movie first, then tell us if you think it's cool, we'll cover it. And I go, okay. So I watched the trailer and I sent the trailer to Nate, and Nate made it about 10 seconds in and messaged me and went, I'm in. That's all he
It
had
was
to
like
do.
43 seconds I made it in. All
It's
right.
only a 2-minute trailer. You made it
I got halfway
through
through
and
it,
stopped.
and I stopped it and went,
Not
I'm
even
done.
halfway through.
You got
Okay.
me. Now,
Yeah.
the other talk, because we're like, well, we could do Color Out of Space, but we didn't want to do 2 Nick Cages
No.
back to back.
And there's another reason because of that. Well,
Yeah.
actually, when this releases,
Yeah.
it's because we've already recovered Con Air, which was another Nick
That would
Cage
have
movie.
been 3 in a row.
That would have been 3 Nick Cages this
Give me
month.
back my Nick Cage movies. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, I'm still waiting for that to happen.
We'll see what's in the pipeline.
I just saw Pig the other night. Wow.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
Powerful.
Anyway,
Now, we should just play the trailer. That way people know, oh, why didn't Nate stop at 43 seconds? Even though
Right,
they're
well,
not
I
going to
can
be able
do
to
that.
see what I saw.
Oh, this is the beauty of this 80s trailer. It tells you everything you need to know.
top to bottom, it sure does.
You're telling me that these things are inside the Golden Gate Bridge. 1. 2, that they only come out at night. That they're responsible for the death of 15 or more kids and 3 of my police officers.
Let me ruin your evening. A stranger said to me, your new lover, my old
They're young.
lover. She said,
Come on, Sue, it's play.
They think they're going to live
'cause I believe
forever.
what she told me.
What are you doing? He doesn't want to play with us. He wants to fool around.
But they're in for a terrible surprise. Now, there are 12 new reasons to be afraid of the dark.
They're after me.
And every one of them is a killer. Introducing, in diabolical order, Axe, Hangman, Doc, Biker, Slash, Juice, Samurai, Bobo, Archer, Soldier. These are the Neon Maniacs. They live so others may die. Neon Maniacs.
Let me ruin your evening.
The only thing it was missing was that smooth saxophone they whip out in that scene too.
Oh, so you know what kind of instrument a saxophone is, do you?
right, because you play
Yeah,
the
it's a nice
triangle.
brass
Yeah.
instrument that Duke Silver plays.
That's right, Duke Silver. I'm
Bleeding
gonna
Gums
polish up.
Murphy.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
polish up my sax for you.
You mean to
ladies
tell
tonight.
me I've been playing an umbrella for my entire career?
So that was an interesting trailer. Did you
It was.
catch how many creatures were named?
I did, because I wanted to make a list for the show tonight, and I went, huh? They only named 10.
Billed as
'Cause I-
12, named 10.
There are 12. But
Yes.
for whatever reason, the trailer says we're going to tell you the 12 in order. Stop at 10. They leave off Ape. Well, I'll go through. So in case y'all weren't really listening to it, there is Axe, Hangman, Doc, Biker, Slash, Juice, Samurai, Mohawk, Archer, Soldier, and that's where it stops in the trailer. Well, the last two is Ape, and Ape's kind of a lead monster to get left out of the
He really
trailer. I'd
is.
be pissed. And then there's two possible names because they're both listed in IMDb, and it's Decapitator and or Scavenger.
It's okay. Yeah.
No clue which
that was
one's
the one-eyed
which.
little guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the actual like creature in this movie.
The actual monster.
Yeah.
And they all have trading cards right at the very beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Okay. You say trading cards. I literally went, did they just leave their headshots out for someone to find? And it's like, no, check out our headshots. Because this guy literally picks up an envelope, and it's like the headshots you would have your agent give all of the studios to get you a part in the movie. And I was like, so the Neon Maniacs are like trying to get a part somewhere? What do they have auditions to
starving
become
artists,
a Neon Maniac?
Well, I
That's
think
what
that's
I
how
wonder.
they recruit more Neon Maniacs.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know why they're Neon Maniacs. I get why they're maniacs. Well, what
Right.
about them makes them neon specifically?
I have no idea. And I will give you credit. It is the one thing I was really disappointed on was to name it Neon Maniacs. The cover art for this is neon as all get out. And you watch this movie and it's literally a little bit of neon at the Battle of the Bands. And I'm like, this is a missed opportunity here. Like
Now-
neon in the 80s was cheap. You could get it anywhere, so it's like, why is it not in this movie?
Yeah, you picked it. Just remember that for the Neon Month, you picked the movie without
I
any
stand
Now,
by
hold
picking
on,
this
hold
movie.
on.
I'm just saying
Now,
that.
Nate and I got together and we actually watched this in the
Taco
same room.
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Sent Charlie a picture. He was really mad.
I know, I
Mad
had to
enough he
Photoshop-
edited the
I
photo. He photoshopped the photo with him in it. It was. And then
I
Troy
was
did the same
there,
thing.
damn it.
I know.
Troy crudely drew himself, not Photoshop, just drew a
No,
sketch.
It was
that
like
said,
it wasn't even click art. It was like
No.
MS Paint.
and then it said Troy with an arrow pointing at the face. And it was like, well, that's obviously Troy.
So it
in
was
this
all
picture.
all four of us were there.
All four of us watched Neon
And
Maniacs together.
Nate and I had a rip-roaring good time. No drinks at all whatsoever that night, and we just, I don't know, Nate. Did we have a good time? I had
an
We had
absolute
a
blast with this
ball.
movie.
Laughing
You
our
guys
asses off
literally
backstage.
messaged me and said, do not watch anything other than the trailer you've seen. Like
Yes.
I was given explicit rules.
Well, the
Don't look up
reason
anything. Don't
Don't
watch
look at
anything.
was Josh over at the Evil Deaths podcast. He had messaged me going, "Oh, I can't wait for you guys to cover Neon Maniacs.
I saw that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't look up anything." And I was like, "That's weird. I don't care about spoilers for a movie from the 80s I've never heard of. That's just a monster movie. Like, no big deal." And then when we finished it, and I had messaged him, and he went, "Yep, that's exactly why I didn't want it to ruin it for you." He also went, "Yeah, and there's no neon. I didn't want to ruin that part for you either because I knew you'd be disappointed."
Are we going to save the ending for later?
I say right now we give a spoiler warning in case you want to watch Neon Maniacs on Tubi.
That's
or
a good idea. We
Plex.
haven't actually spoiled anything yet, other than
Mhm.
there's no neon. Is spoiler warning. It's on Tubi. Go watch Neon Maniacs. It's well worth your time. That we all are in agreement.
There
that it's
is an
definitely-
asterisk.
Yes.
There is an asterisk.
Well, I think the asterisk is make sure you get a friend or two, crack open some beers, and watch this thing because
There's that
it is-
asterisk. Then
it is
there's
worth
an asterisk
every
to the
bit
asterisk.
of making fun of it. This movie was a blast. What was your asterisk? Just
Well, I guess this is now the spoiler warning territory for everyone.
Yep.
So if you don't want to listen to this, I don't blame you. But this movie doesn't have an ending.
literally does not end.
It literally just ends. And they ran out of money like 2 weeks into making the movie, maybe not even 2 weeks. And
Yeah,
then
I
it
don't
was
think
like
lasted that long.
they went a couple months and then decided they got some funds to make a little bit more. And they couldn't even get the original Maniacs to come back.
In
They
the
only got
credits,
two.
in the
They got-
credits, you'll see a lot of them with two people playing
Two
the same
two
monster.
guys play 12 maniacs.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
forewarned, if you're like us and you didn't know anything about this movie and then it just ends, it literally leaves you going, what the shit just happened? Like,
Right,
what?
right. Nate and I looked at each other like, what, huh?
That
That's
can't
it?
be it.
And credits just out of nowhere. It reminded me a lot of, if you're familiar with the Shaw Brothers Kung Fu films, there were a lot of those that ended abruptly like that. Like I remember one specifically where the hero beat the bad guy and kicked him into the ocean. They were on a beach or something and kicked him into the ocean. He's dead and blood comes up and it's the movie's over. The good guy's starting to walk into the sunset, and then out of nowhere, the bad guy jumps out of the water, stabs him in the back, roll credits.
That's more of an ending than what we got.
Monkey
That
Kung
sounds like an
Fu
indie.
kind of end abruptly a little
Yeah,
bit?
it
Like
did.
it didn't have a
It sure
full
did.
like
Yep.
ending.
There was no
This ends worse than that. This ends
yes.
where you like the point of this ending of the movie. Technically, you are like, oh shit, what's happening next? Because I'm not looking at the time. I'm not looking at how much
Mhm.
longer the movie
Had no
has.
idea.
And I'm like, oh shit, this is
Look,
getting cool.
There's
This
got
is
to be 10
getting
minutes
good.
left, right?
Yeah, 10, 15 minutes at
Uh-huh.
least. And it stopped. And
And
like
then
credits started to
credits.
roll. And I'm like, what is going on?
It was like a car accident. All of a sudden, you're eating dashboard.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe.
It's frustrating too because this movie, it's an ultimate 80s movie. Like
This is pure
this
80s.
movie, yeah, is pure 80s. It feels like everything that Stranger Things tries to be, this movie
Yeah.
already is for being
Well,
authentic
because it
to
came
it.
from the 80s. I mean,
Yeah, and like
it was of
down
its
to like
time.
these characters that are like nerdy. Like one of them is literally wearing the alien spaceship hat, and
Nostromo.
they
Yeah.
and has like the Blade Runner
The
poster.
two
Like
of them
they're
had Nostromo
you have
hats.
film nerds and stuff like
Mhm.
that in this for 86. Like to me, it's like wow, they're really like ahead of their time. You have
That
the
was like
battle
your
of the bands.
Dustin and Will character from Stranger Things. You know,
Definitely.
this whole thing.
The
It's
bands battling each other, the cops not believing the kids, like the wacky adventure. Like there was so much of it. I was like, this is like peak throw the 80s into a blender, and this is what you get. And then it just ends. And like what's frustrating too, I really did enjoy this movie. When Charlie sent me the trailer, it's in glorious HD, looks gorgeous. That copy, they only made like 1,200 copies of the Blu-ray. It's not existent. It's like
Yeah, it's
$130. The only thing that's streaming is the standard definition in the 4x3, and
ain't
you
good.
can't even buy a digital copy. So we're robbed of the remaster of this that it so desperately needs to be seen.
And it's under the Shout Factory banner on Tubi too. So you're
Yeah.
thinking that okay, this has to be the best
They're
version
gonna
available.
or they're gonna release
right.
it,
Or something.
This
And
is
no,
a
but
movie that has fallen to the wayside to be forgotten about on purpose.
it
And
needs-
like
It needs to be resurrected.
yeah, it
because
feels
it's so
like
absurd.
something that
It's
Shout
so very
Factory
80s.
would have, or Vinegar Syndrome. One of those would be like, let's go and take the 4K, negatives or
whatever you
and-
got to do. Yeah, get everything up, convert it, do it all. And you nailed it, man. This feels like a Steven Spielberg like kid adventure movie tossed into a straight up slasher horror movie. Like there's gore in this movie. It takes a little while to get there, but there's gore. There's awesome
But,
kills.
the opening scene, well, not opening scene, but like the opening segment, we get introduced to all of our party teens. We're going to go to the park to drink and get laid. And they all get dispatched in different ways. Like we get to see the maniacs go in top form of what they do.
And each of the maniacs has their own power, much like their name. So they get to dispatch these kids in their own special way.
Yeah, they each have a shtick. But this movie kind of I watched it again today before recording and wanted to freshen up on it. I was like, man, you get like this Fast Times at Ridgemont High kind of feel of all the teenagers. You're seeing all the cliches, the stoners, the jocks, the preppy girls, all these type of characters. Then the maniacs come in and they literally, like when they appear, it's like you see each different face. Every one of them's unique and like kind of Village People-y a little bit from
Fair-
time
fair.
to time.
Oh,
You
that
had
was
a-
exactly
you had
what
a
Pete
Native
and I were talking
American, you
about.
had a
You
policeman,
had the
you had
biker. You
biker,
had
yeah.
We were only
So-
missing the construction worker with the
Uh-huh.
yellow hat,
Right.
and I don't know. I forget what the other village people were, but and then they like literally start killing these kids in in a low budget kind of way on a
Yeah,
lot of them.
it's gruesome, but definitely
But
low
it's
budget. You
fun,
don't
you
see
know?
a whole lot, and it's
dude, it's totally
absolutely
fun.
fun.
Like,
Mhm.
it's just cool to see them like, oh, they're taking a rope, they're hanging this one. Oh, that
Well,
one got hit with an arrow.
the
Like,
one guy's getting head from his girlfriend. Axe walks up behind him and chops the girl's head off.
Yeah,
and he's
and then cuts
their
him
whole-
in half.
And
Yeah.
then he cuts him in half.
Like and I love the effect of they had like the fake legs laying up against
Oh,
the tree,
jeez.
and then he
Oh, so good.
falls to make it look
Yeah.
like two pieces of the body separately fell. And I'm just saying that I'm like, that is amazing for the 80s. I love the creativity of it. You know, the one guy's like, hey, you want to play a game? You want to play some football? And the guy throws a football at these maniacs, and Archer shoots it with an arrow. He's like, oh, you guys want to play rough, huh? I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, this is. Also, why is it in the 80s whenever they want to show like teenage sex and stuff that it's literally dudes just laying on top of girls in the grass, anywhere that they could physically lay on top of them? That's teenage
when
sex.
you're
They
a
even make a
teenager
joke about it.
and you find a way to have sex, it does not matter where you are having sex.
That's a good point.
They hear this.
Is it a picnic table? Is it gravel? Is it hot
Is it
tar?
standing up? Whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't
like-
matter.
Bed of a pickup truck. I'll
They
take it
they
any
even
way I
make
can.
an awesome joke that whenever the maniacs appear, there's like this giant howl and everyone hears it. And the one girl's like, well, that was really weird. Did you hear that too? They're literally like 5 feet away from each other. And he's like, yeah, it sounded like your mom and her anti-sex talk she's doing. I'm like, yep, we know what era we're watching this
Oh, yeah,
movie in
definitely.
right now.
We are in peak Reagan era right now.
Oh my
Oh,
God, man.
Wonderfully.
And
And the monsters look great.
I love them. I
the
don't have any
makeup-
complaints of any of the
Uh-uh.
monsters.
I mean, you have so the construction worker, the doctor, and the Mohawk. They didn't really have a lot of makeup. It was just like
They're just like
makeup.
dudes, but like,
But
Yeah.
the
they're
rubber
still
faces
cool.
of the others, like I think Axe had a rubber mask, and
Yeah.
Hangman had a rubber mask. and
Yeah,
the
they had like
Samurai
almost like
one did.
melted samurai.
Samurai
look
had, yeah, he looked great.
ass.
He looked
yeah.
like an Oni. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
He also
it's
got
just-
his midsection melted out by Roman candles, which I
Yeah.
laughed at during this movie.
Roman candles.
And
remember
it's
those-
just
those were really cool?
amazing that like you watch this and go, well, I want an action figure of all these guys.
You're
Yeah,
darn right.
Like, I want,
Super 7
know-
could make a killing off of this.
yeah,
Just-
I want a merch line, and yet
I want, like you said, trading cards.
Yeah.
With their backstory
yeah.
on the back.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like their stats. That's
Just
what I
m-
want.
movie just was made to be forgotten, and it blows my mind so much.
Yeah, I've
I mean-
never heard anyone talk about this film.
No,
I haven't.
It was.
The-
I'm so happy we found it. 'cause
Why I
now we
kept
get
saying
talk
no
about
to it because I was like, nah,
Yeah,
we haven't
Nate's-
heard about
Nate's
it to
like,
this
if-
extent.
Nate's theory a lot of times is, well, no one, I've never heard of it and I've never seen anyone talk about it. It can't be that good. And I'm starting to think, I just think people just don't give shit a chance because even in the ratings for this, like when we were reading them, it's at a 5 on IMDb. And all of the reviews I've been reading was a lot of people just going, it's an unfinished movie. It can't be perfect, but what's here is amazing and people need to see it.
Oh,
And
there's a
that's
lot of
really what it
great
was.
Practical effects
Yep.
just ooze, and lots of
Oh,
just
it was ooey gooey, as Charlie likes
Yeah.
to say. There was some
It-
when they the creature's Achilles heel is water. So
right, which was kind of weird when that gets
right. So
revealed.
they're in San Francisco. It's awfully wet in San Francisco. Could you have picked a worse town? I mean,
They
I
they
suppose
come out
Portland,
from
Oregon.
under the Golden Gate
Gate
Bridge.
Bridge. So you're already close to water, and you'll die.
yeah, but they come
from-
out of like the back of an ice cream truck or something like that.
Ice-
So like,
Did they?
it,
It's
like,
not an ice cream truck. It was a service truck. It
Oh.
was they're in a maintenance garage.
they
is
clearly
what we
come from
find
some
out.
sort of portal from
That
another
is
dimension, which is like
all I can
That's-
find.
That's
all
hinted. Yeah.
Stranger Things again, because it's like
Yeah.
they're kind of coming from like an upside down almost.
Right.
Um,
Right. And
but
that's at
they're
the very
locked
end
away.
when we finally see that portal, and there's so many
and it's not explained. And
unfinished.
the,
It's not
the
explained.
other problem with this movie is no one has a copy of the script
Oh,
anywhere.
no.
No one knows what was
supposed-
written for this movie. Most of the actors don't talk about this movie because
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like they're
such
all
a
just like-
bad experience
Oh no.
that they're like, I don't know what you're talking about most of the time.
that movie doesn't exist.
This is the debut of, he's not quite a horror icon, but a well-known horror actor and secondary character actor is Andrew Divoff, who played the Wishmaster. His
Oh.
iconic character. He plays Doc in this. And now it's like, I want to catch him at a convention and hope I don't piss it. Like, get my autograph first and go, so, Neon Maniacs, I want to know.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Yeah.
Because the dude that made it, he only made 2 movies, this and another one back in 1968.
Yes, that's it. He didn't do
So-
anything else.
Yeah. That
It-
dude's dead, so we don't get any information from him. Like,
And
I-
no
yeah.
one knows. Like, the whole portal thing is only figured out from what little bit of information people could find, was that when the cop goes back in at the end of the movie and he gets pulled into this vehicle and it's a bright light, that was, oh yeah, there was supposed to be a whole portal where these things come from another dimension. Like they travel here. And I was like, that'd have been cool if anyone would have told us that at any
Right. Well,
point in this
there-
movie.
the
There
dude
was
that
a
wrote
hint.
it-
There was a hint in the very middle of the movie, right after the subway scene, where the police, the cop is berating these kids. Or
Mhm.
no, he calls one of his deputies, gets him out of bed, and the deputy, before hanging up, says, "Do you think she can be the one?" And the sheriff says,
See-
"Go back to bed." I think that was this gal who these Neon Maniacs are following around. I think she was supposed to be some sort of a key to the gateway, keep it open. I don't know,
So
but that was a hint
I
that was
picked
dropped
up
in the
on
middle.
that.
Yeah, you
I
saw
picked
that.
up on it, and the thing that I didn't catch it about her, I caught it as these guys have been dealing with the maniacs for a long
Right,
time.
right? Or they
But
know about
then
them. Yeah,
the rest of the movie, they act like they have no clue.
Yeah,
Like,
they act
when
like
they-
she's crazy when
They-
she's
right.
describing what
they
killed
go
her friends.
way over the top though. Like they go, oh, now one, this and this, they're out of the prison. Two, they're killing all you
Right.
guys and 3 of my cops. None of that makes sense. Blah, blah, blah. And he's just laughing his head off, and that feels like a diversionary tactic to me.
But
like,
he sends everyone away. Like, as
At
soon
the
as
very
there's
end, you mean?
nothing at the very end.
yeah,
he
because he's
brought
going back in there to
everyone
check
there.
on something.
Yeah.
And since they ran out of money, they're like, oh, here's where we'll kill him and we're done.
But it destroys the thing. Like, this guy knows something, which they were
Yes.
setting up really, really well. That was the most frustrating thing in this movie for me, was I was like, oh, I get, okay, this guy
Yeah.
knows what's
Ha-
going on.
Had
You
he
know-
opened the back of that van, seen that green light, and says something like, the hell are you guys doing? Knock it off. Roll credits. That would have been a better.
that would have
a-
been, oh my God,
a
that
better
would've made me
ending
more
than-
mad. Like, is the boss? What's going on? Are they part of the
Right.
police force? Are they
Right.
Monster SWAT instead of Monster Squad? Like, what the hell? This would have been awesome.
Much better
It's
ending.
so frustrating that how this movie is structured. Like,
but
I
it's
see,
only frustrating once you get to the end because you just realize you have all these questions that will never be answered.
well,
and you
I'm
can't
frustrated.
Use the internet to find the answers like you usually can. Like,
Right? Yeah, we are. You fall off a cliff if you start looking up stuff on this movie. You find other people that hit a wall. There is
it's
no
literally like
rabbit
this
hole.
movie's cursed, and anything that you try to look up for it, you'll get the curse. And it's just like, but I want
it's
to
just
know.
gone. But I was frustrated throughout the movie as much as I was enjoying it, because I would see little like glimmers of hope or a really cool thought idea in the movie. There's a whole like theory that I was reading on some other reviews that the girl that survives the beginning attack, the only girl that lives, she happens to be the virgin. And
Yes.
that's why all the monsters are going after her, because they need her for a sacrifice.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, okay, I see that. Why did they go after the little girl then in her bedroom? Like, what's the point of them going after her? Like
Well-
I'm watching the movie going, is it because that she saw them and they have to kill whoever sees them?
That's what
And
I
then
thought.
I got pissed off because that doesn't make sense because they invade the dance and
Mhm.
everyone they don't kill saw them. So I'm like, well, that blows that theory out of the water.
It felt like they were going after that gal that survived.
There
And
was
I
a
Like
like
it felt like
for
it was a
her.
purpose. We have
I-
to get her
I like what
because
you're
we didn't
going
get
there.
all of them.
Yeah, a sacrifice. They need her as their queen or something. She's the reincarnation of, or she's the next Neon Maniac, maybe.
The virgin sacrifice makes even more sense because in the most uncomfortable, weird way, they have sex at the high school, laying on the floor while they're being chased by the maniac.
Right.
Once again, you're a teenager. You found an opportunity. You take it.
It's
Once
not wrong.
again, these are 30-year-olds trying to play teenagers, and I'm not buying it. And the youngest one, who is at least 22, is trying to play a 13 or 14-year-old girl.
That's why
with
she
her
wore the hat.
hair, the hat turned sideways.
The hat. I mean, the hat has always been the greatest de-ager. You know, who needs deep fakes or CGI?
put a
when
hat
you just
on.
put a hat on,
Put a hat
slightly
on.
sideways.
Isn't that the joke with one of the Saw movies that they
Yeah,
de-aged?
it's Saw 6. They make
Yeah.
Tobin Bell, Tobin Bell just
Tobin
wear
Bell.
a hat backwards, and he's just like, "How do you do? I don't got cancer
It's
right
supposed
now."
to be a past flashback. They don't de-age him digitally. They put a hat on him. And so this movie, she's got the hat off sideways, and she is smaller,
She's a short
person
gal.
of stature. But I'm also going, she ain't 13 or 14. She's
No.
But
20
she's riding a
something.
bike with a sideways cap. That's how you know she's 13.
So
All she
was
needs
a,
to do
so
is
was
put
a
a
cop
card.
apparently. The cop riding her bike for no apparent reason at the Golden Gate
He was
Bridge.
having fun, and he was going to pull his gun out on her.
Right.
He had his hand on his holster
Yeah.
when she walked up. Like, did you think she was going to steal your bike, or like
It's
were
because
you
she
gonna
called him
steal
a pig or
hers?
something like that.
She
she
didn't
did.
do that till after. Like
Right.
she's like oink oink or something like that. I was like,
Uh-huh.
even in the 80s,
And that's what
they
made
hated
him put his
cops.
hand on the holster, though. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh God, man, I had so much love for this movie though as I
Well,
was watching it.
It was the monster design. We get a pool scene where it literally rains blood.
Literally,
it's
I
just
yelled
like-
out "raining blood." I was like,
And it was
yes.
like, a movie did it before the Evil Dead remake, and I had no
Uh-huh.
idea.
Yep.
Had no idea that another movie pulled off raining blood. I can't think of anything else. I'd like to be corrected. Maybe there's something I'm forgetting, but like, it's a long scene.
I
They
mean, my
used
only
a lot of blood.
my only thought would be the closest would be like The Shining with the blood coming
But-
out of the
But that's
the
like the
elevators.
elevator. This is.
But
an
I'm
actual
saying just
element.
anything
Yeah.
when this is, and then it turns into. So I'm totally enamored by the pool scene because Ape, the hairy monster,
Oh, Lou Ferrigno.
is Lou Ferrigno, who didn't have his steroids that day. Sorry, Lou.
Right.
Is stalking her. We get a cool bathing suit shot, inexplicable 80s, got to do that. And he stops when she gets in the pool. And we know he's out there, and she gets into this like inflatable tube,
Yeah.
and she's laying there, it starts raining blood. She's panicking. She's doing all this. And then she wakes up, and it's just raining, I think, at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The blood goes away, it's only raining, and the monster's gone. This is before we know their weakness. And I am fully confused, but I'm also like, that was actually kind of cool. What the hell is going on? Like, I got where she's important. Like, there's something to do with her. What's going on here? Because they just killed everyone for no reason earlier. And then the young girl finds out about them, and she tries to capture them on video, and she watches one melt into a puddle. And we're all then like, are they like susceptible to water? Like just regular water?
Just
And
regular
it-
water.
And it
Not
is
holy
because
water, just regular
later
water.
they fight them with water guns, which I was like, that is such a Steven Spielberg, John Hughes, something kind
Yeah,
of
definitely. Like, it feels like something that
Gremlins.
If
a
John
modern
Hughes did
movie
a
would
horror
parody
movie-
now of like, oh, everyone grabbed their water guns, And then Pete and I were just like, get the Super Soaker out. Like, I'll be an unstoppable
right.
killing machine. Only to find out the Super Soaker was not invented in 1986.
No, they literally have what you buy at the dollar store now.
Yeah,
Those
where
clear
you
plastic.
would dip the gun
Yep.
into like
pour
the
it in
pool.
there.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, man, someone either had to be friends with Chris Columbus or knew some of this, because that's the Gremlins kind of, take on their susceptibility to water.
Oh, sure. Mhm.
So I was like, someone really wanted to make this like, how do they not just keep causing chaos? And it's because every time it starts to rain, which watching it a second time, it starts to rain after they kill all the teenagers at the beginning. We don't pick up on that. She just gets attacked in the van and they disappear. Watching it the second time, you're like, oh shit, it's raining. That's why they left her alone. That's why they left. I was like, damn it. For a movie that don't have an ending, I got to watch this like 2 or 3 times.
Your time.
They like when they attack her in the van too. Don't they like tip over the van?
They
They're-
almost tip over
Yeah,
the
They
van.
almost over.
All of them
I
are
am not
rocking
pro van violence because that was a beautiful GMC. It had the body
Man loves his
skirts down the
vans.
bottom. It had all the extras you wanted in the 80s. And when he threw that axe through the windshield, I was yelling at the guy because I'm like, you know how expensive those things are? I just had to do one, and I had to buy a whole van to get that windshield. Don't do that, sir. That's a
You
true
mean to
story, by
tell
the
me
way.
the only way to get a windshield replacement for a van is to buy another damn van?
So my van I drive around had a crack in it. And so we've been trying to call, we call Safe Light. They're like, oh yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And it's like $600 or $700 for a van. Mine's a 94 Chevy. It looks just like the 80s. It's the same damn van. Dad and I went and bought an old bus that had the same windshield in it for $400. I got the windshield. Dad got everything else. It was a running vehicle.
Oh,
So it was cheaper to go buy another
my
vehicle,
gosh.
take the windshield out, put it in mine, and Dad took the motor out of the other one.
This
So
is amazing.
So
I
you
am
gotta-
anti-van because when they were trying to tip that thing over, I was mad. I was like, don't you do it. Don't you do it at all. And then they stop, but then they break the windshield. You can ask Jackie. Jackie's laughing at me because I am yelling about the van and this whole thing. I was mad. But, it is what it is.
So you got the
it's still
wizard
running.
painted on the side of that van.
I need to. I've thought about
Yeah.
it. I
You should
love
paint
that
a
stuff.
Neon Maniac on the side of the
Oh,
van.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I want to remake this movie. I don't want to just fix this movie. I don't, which we're going to talk about later in the show. I want to remake
Well, how about
Neon
we do
Maniacs.
commercial, and then when we come back, we can talk about how we'd remake / fix it.
Okay, we can do that.
Oh, let's do that.
All right.
Don't go away. It could be a grave mistake.
Hi, everybody. I'm Josh.
And I'm Brad.
If you're looking for a different horror podcast, one that stands out from the rest,
Well, don't look here.
absolutely not. Every week we talk about our favorite horror movies and some of our favorite aspects of those horror movies.
So that's something that interests you? Check us out.
The only thing that sets us apart is that it's us. So if you like the sound of our voices,
Check us out at the Evil Desk Podcast.
wherever it is that you find podcasts.
It's Neon. Shine on. Neon. Shine on. Neon. Bend them, hook them together. All right. Twirl them, hang them from your ear. Tubular. Twist them. That's hot. Neon tears. Shine on. Neon. Shine on.
Neon kids from Mattel. What will they think of next?
Don't let the commercials bug you. We're back.
What the hell was that?
Just like how I found this movie Neon Maniacs by typing in neon horror, I typed in neon toy commercial and I found Neon. And it's
Hell's
literally
neon.
it's bendable
Yep.
neon like bracelets and things.
Remember
And
those
it goes-
jelly bracelets?
It was kind of like a jelly bracelet.
Yeah.
And it goes out when you said earlier, like it's the 80s. Why is there no neon in here? I went, apparently they don't know about Neon Leon because they could have got these and put them on all the Maniacs. I don't know. If you go on YouTube, look up
This
Neon
looks
Leon
like it
toys.
was, the the crazy bands, but for the 80s, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could bend them in any shape you wanted to.
And they were neon.
Hook
and
them
they
on your
glowed.
ear.
Yeah, they go tubular.
Yeah.
That's hot.
Out of sight.
I was like, this is straight up 80s. I love it. This is going on the show. I couldn't have been happier finding that. Oh, there's so much gold I find now. I'm just gonna keep typing neon in everything. I want more. But no, like before we took the break, I watched this movie the first time and I started digging into it where it's like there's no script. No one has like fixed this movie. No one's like technically remastered it except for a limited run. It's like I want to find the rights. I want to remake Neon Maniacs. I want to do it justice.
It's something that deserves a new audience.
It does.
I definitely feel like there's a lot you can do here with having Maniacs coming out and terrorizing. I don't think you need to do L.A., San Francisco.
I don't
I think
have
you can
to,
do like
but I
a
don't-
small town to help limit that budget where these guys come out. It's almost like an Ernest Scared Stupid.
It
in a
really
way.
kind of is. We just need some Miak, and we can take care of the Maniacs, except
that
we need
honestly
water.
would have helped take out the Neon Maniacs.
Some
I
little bit of
think.
well, it'd be skim milk because it's mostly water. So
Yeah.
that makes you wonder, like, do they get thirsty? Because there's water in everything you drink. So
But
even
like
coffee.
even this
when
doesn't
they
like
when they
was
kill, they get blood splattered on them. Would that melt them?
That's water,
it
right?
could. Yeah. We
Yeah.
live in a world that wants to remake good movies. Why can't we live in a world that remakes
Bad
unfinished / bad movies?
Movies that
Well-
deserve it. Like I seriously, this movie's so unknown. It's such a niche kind of project. Why has no one went, let's redo Neon Maniacs? You have I'm not changing the Maniacs whatsoever. I would try to, get as close to that makeup as I could. There would be 12 of them. I would keep with the whole aesthetic. You would have the kids filming monster movies, where she's a horror hound gal. She has masks everywhere. I was waiting for the mask to come into play. They kept zeroing in on all these horror masks around her bedroom. I was fully expecting her to know that maniac was sneaking into her room, and she put the mask on and it left her alone thinking it's one of them. Just this kind of like
Right.
fool the creature. We do get an amazing death with that creature in her bedroom.
Oh, we
because
do.
She pulls out the water gun and it's like it's steaming, it's like melting him a little bit.
Ow, ow,
Yeah,
ow, ow.
basically,
And then-
and she's backing him up into the bathroom, and they take the camera, they show the tub, and you're like, oh yes, makes it fall in the tub. She keeps spraying it, and then you just see the light bulb moment go on her face, and she turns the shower on, and it is the ooeyest, gooeyest, worthy of the Blob remake
Yeah.
death of one of these maniacs. I adored it. It was
great.
down to a skeleton, and it kept melting from there. I was in. I was like, this is glorious. Man.
It was
I
a lot
love
like Spike at the end of Gremlins, how he just
Yeah.
was melting.
He's in the fountain, and he's
most
just
horrific way, yeah.
almost comes up back. Because that's a kids movie. Neon Maniacs is almost a kids movie. You could
Yeah,
almost.
I mean, it could be in a way. Like it's
I
that
would be
PG-13.
I would
you
be
know?
torn on that. I would almost have to do it. It's another reason I was so happy of the movies we picked and we got this one is we could do Neon Maniacs like PG was done. That feels like a kid's
Yeah.
adventure movie, but there's blood and guts and gore everywhere.
And like that's the great thing. All of that is green. It's different colors, to
right.
where it's fun, and like Street Trash is getting remade by the dude that made Fried
saw that.
Berry, which I
Yeah.
haven't seen. Fried Berry. It's on my list. I think it's on Shudder.
I think it's
it'll
on-
look
it's
like
on Shudder.
garbage. I'm always gonna be fighting you, Shudder.
Damn you,
but-
shut up!
A movie like Street Trash is getting remade with nothing but practical effects. It's being shot on 35 millimeter. They're doing all that properly for a trashy 80s movie.
Well, we're getting the Toxic
Why
Avenger
can't
remake.
we do the
Yeah.
same thing with this?
Exactly.
I feel
Just-
like it's totally doable.
That was my first thought. If we're going to redo this movie, we have to do it with real film.
You have
Yeah.
to
and,
do
and
it with
practical
film.
effects.
I don't want digital. I don't want
No.
CG unless CG has its place if you're touching up something that just didn't work on camera.
But if I
I have
have
no problem with that.
dummy melting, it's a dummy.
It is a dummy melting. If there is a blood spray, it is literally a tube with
a
blood
garden
in it.
hose,
Yes.
full of blood. Yes,
That's
And
the
because you can
only
make
way
this
to do it.
to where they're still getting killed by water, once that is discovered,
right
now that it's a modern movie, you can add in all the fun super soaker stuff. You could add in, kids that play Fortnite essentially doing the same thing, Fortnite in real life with all these different super soakers attacking it.
Very similar to I finally watched Attack the Block.
Oh man,
about
that's great.
3 weeks ago.
Oh,
I need to give that another visit because I remember being upset with it.
Oh,
I enjoyed it. Like
my problem was I didn't like that my main characters were
punks,
hoodlums.
Yeah,
Hoodlums?
I didn't like the fact
Yeah.
that I was rooting for people that your first scene with them is mugging a girl. I was like, well, I don't care about any of these people; they can all die.
Well, I'm sorry, but everybody in Fast and the Furious, they started out as thieves that would literally risk the lives
They
of
were
truck
stealing
drivers.
from DVD corporations that were trying to steal our hard-earned money.
They almost
and
let a
VCR
truck driver
corporations.
drive off of a cliff. Okay, no, and then it was
He
a
wasn't
flaming
part
fireball.
of family.
This is one of those that needs to be done like how Pierce did Crabs, how PG, Psycho Gorman was done. It has to almost feel timeless, yet in some type of era.
Well, it's
Not, I don't want cell phones.
Right.
Cell phones fuck up a movie way too much, and I don't want that at all. I don't want that to be an easy out. Hey, there's maniacs heading towards you.
Send in the National Guard. Everyone comes in,
send
just
in the
blows them
National
away.
Guard.
right. You gotta give a chance to get these kids out of the house too,
Right.
because sadly,
Yeah.
I don't
So,
have kids, but they stay inside a lot.
I would
a lot more than we
pull
do.
this kind of. I would pull this kind of into the 90s.
Yep,
If anything,
what I was thinking.
honestly, if I was to do it,
96.
it would only be a remake in spirit. You could literally start the new movie at the end of the old one. Like there is nothing that you have to fix.
You
You
would
could
have to
literally
just-
pull it all back.
You'd have to do like a mystery aspect to it though, where you still have the one kid that's like trying to tell everyone they're not believing them until something big happens, and that's when
Here's
your
here's
group
what
of
you have.
kids would come together. They're all riding their bike, to the Maniacs HQ to attack them.
'Cause- To do it right, here's what you would have to do. Obviously, you have to recast. But what you do is you leave everything set on that if you want to leave the movie like it is, because everyone would need to watch this movie anyway before they watch a remake to understand what we're doing. Is then you lead it into, as soon as that movie ends, you lead it into either someone reading a newspaper article or the girl, the videographer girl who would be the youngest in the movie is now older, and she is reading or going through her files of, I can't believe it's we've never seen him again since that night. All this stuff, that happened. This couldn't have been a dream. It wasn't too many monster movies that I watch. This happened. And you explain away the girl because there is no reason to have her. They didn't say it was a virgin for sacrifice or she had this tie. You could just say that she couldn't
She
handle
moved
it
away.
anymore. She's in an asylum now. Do that whole type of thing. It was too much for her to handle. And now you've recast the younger girl who is now going to be, if we put it in the 90s, where she's now in her 20s, and you go from there. And now she's trying to solve the mystery because she's reading up on these little murders that have happened in this small town. The portal moved because they got found out.
Sure.
So now it's in a different area. And she's now finding like these missing people reports, all these little things. So the slime that got left behind, which was another great little clue. She rolls right through with her bike, but there was all this stuff she was solving like a detective. Let her keep doing that. And now we bring all the maniacs back. They're from another dimension. They look newer, but you still go, that's Mohawk. That's the one-eyed.
They can also
swamp creature
represent
dude.
something. You can have new ones, because
Yeah,
they're
you
not
could-
like Cenobites, like they still have
Right.
their own thing, like their own distinguishing traits. Like
And they
Doc,
killed
I
a
mean, he's
couple of them.
clearly
Yeah.
yeah. So like with them killing a couple of them, it's like yeah, now you can bring in some new ones that are fun.
You could make
and
this
we've
whole
already
thing where they're
established they can be monsters, they can be apes, so you can get
They can-
wacky with it.
you make it to where they're trying to assume something that makes them appear human to, distract the
Right,
people a little bit.
to blend
To,
in.
to put people at ease if they caught a glimpse
Mhm.
of them. The only one, and you could make it out like he's the dumb one that has the one eye. It's like, yeah, he
Mhm.
never figured out how to change,
Oh,
but
okay.
you have all these other ways, and that you make it centric that only 12 at a time can come out. So I forget 1, 2, 4 die
I think
in the
so.
movie. So now you have an opening for your core 8 and 4 new maniacs to create for the movie. There's so much you could do with this. Like, I seriously have been thinking about this for over a week since we got delayed recording this. So I have been like mushing in this in my head for over a week now, going, I'm almost borderline obsessing, going, I want to remake this movie. You know how many
Yeah.
times I've almost messaged Derek going,
Oh.
all right, bro, here's what we got to do. And I'm
How
to
do I
that
get the
point.
rights? Just how?
That's the
I-
first thing. I
feel
need
like
the rights.
you need the rights, but I'm guessing every producer on this movie's dead. I don't know. I haven't looked into
So-
it, but like
It's
it
whatever
just feels
studio
like
probably
something.
distributed it maybe has. But if 1,200 Blu-rays got released, someone has to know
Yeah.
how we can do it. It's under the Shout Factory banner.
Mm.
So that's literally the first place you start, is finding out, okay, you guys have distribution, but what's holding you guys back from giving us a true re-release, and who owns it?
I just feel like it's still plagued by that. Well, no one's going to spend money on this, which I think is bullshit because we get a lot of dumb things like Creep Show 3 getting a remaster. You know,
Look,
like
man, I'm talking like Indiegogo, man. We fan fund
Uh-huh.
this thing.
yeah.
But I mean, it fully capable if you do it right. This isn't going to be millions of dollars in this remake, but guess what? This movie didn't have millions of dollars
Well,
in the
I
first
think
place.
you do
So
the
I
same
don't.
thing that PG did, where only like $100,000 of his budget went towards the effects, and when you look
Exactly.
at that movie, you're like, "There's no way you had to have spent tons
You get
of money."
you get a good core group of people that can pull it off. We know quite a few of those people that could pull this off. I don't know. It's just been my obsession for a week now that I can't stop thinking about Neon Maniacs.
Because we don't have that satisfaction, and just there's a way to do, like, we're about to do Turbo Kid, and like if you were to give this movie
Oh my
to the
god.
Turbo Kid team,
Oh my
you
God.
know you would get that perfect blend that is a kids movie, but it's an adult movie.
Oh, 100%. And that's what I want. This movie has to be a kids movie with an adult theme to it. Because that's almost what this original Neon Maniacs did. It was a kid's adventure solving a mystery wrapped around a slasher style movie where people are literally dying around them, getting murdered, and you got to keep the feel of the original movie.
And
But
if you
you got to
have
give it some cohesiveness.
these new characters that you'd follow, it's like you'd have your Nintendo 64 nerd, you
Mhm.
know, you would have the grunge kid or something like that.
Well,
the
that's-
cyberpunk, because of
Yeah.
what era we're in. Like, there's
I would
just
straight
you
up
could
go
make
into the
this
90s.
happen.
Go
So
ahead, Pete.
instead of calling it Neon Maniacs Part 2 or whatever, could you just fast forward it to the 90s, like you said, and call it Grunge Maniacs?
I don't want to
and
lose
then-
the neon.
And then
I-
rewind it for a prequel and call it Hippie Maniacs.
Shag carpet maniacs.
Right.
Green, yellow mustard shag
and the
carpet
and the
maniacs.
maniacs
Talking
drive
about
around that
orange
vandalism.
carpet maniacs and that one floral pattern couch maniacs.
Wood paneling maniacs, which is actually what the 80s were, ladies and
Right
gentlemen.
there,
It was
yeah,
not
yeah.
neon. We lived through it.
End of the
Ask
80s,
me and Pete.
start of the 90s was
Yeah.
where your neon.
Grandma's
the-
coughing, smoking habit.
The
beginning of the
neon
80s was
was
definitely
on
Maniac.
paneling.
Neon was on TV,
Orange and
MTV,
greens.
and California. There was no
Right.
there was no neon anywhere. It wasn't until Lisa Frank, that little store in the malls, popped up that girls would be able to get any color for whatever, the hair ties and all that. My sister was
Claire's.
huge into that stuff. Yeah, Claire's.
Station
oh,
Wagon Maniacs.
I am in. Because if there's
Yeah.
something I like just as much as Vans, it's station wagons.
It's station wagons. Of course you do.
The Vista Cruiser, you could literally cruise
Oh,
the
man.
Vistas.
Yeah.
I love that line in
That's
the
a
70s
car.
show.
That's classy.
Absolutely. That was my favorite.
But it's the
character in
90s, so it'd be a LeBaron.
We're not doing a Chrysler LeBaron, damn it.
Yeah, we're going to do a LeBaron because it
No.
could be a convertible, dude. That's cool.
Ooh. No.
I
Fox
rock
Body
Camaro.
Mustang. I rock Camaro, Fox Body Mustang.
Look, we're dealing with a
Half
limited
the cars
budget.
in my dad's
Our
junkyard right now.
go
No, that's what I'm
towards the
saying. I've
LeBaron.
got most
Yeah.
of these. I've got most of them. We're fine. I have a van. I can resurrect the van from the first movie because I can make it.
Yeah, but
And
you want to
then-
tip it over. We can tip over a LeBaron.
Well, the van's going to be a character, right? Because it
Right.
is the portal that either drives or transports itself from place to place.
Yeah,
That's
I like the maintenance vehicle being the portal. And you know what
Yeah.
maintenance departments and state departments do? They auction their shit off all the time. So that's how
Ah.
you get the portal into another town. Small
Mhm.
towns get hand-me-downs. So you auction off that maintenance vehicle. Small town gets it. Now they have a portal to this other dimension. And honestly, I would make the other dimension neon. That's where I would tie in the neon.
That
That's
would
why
be
they're
the
the
neon,
neon
yeah.
maniacs.
They're trying to
Because-
escape the neon world because it's driving them crazy.
Because they can't
because
get a good
They
night's sleep.
can't get a good night's
Because all the
sleep.
live nude signs that
Oh,
are
God.
flashing with the arrow.
Live nude,
It's
yeah.
a red light district always.
Yeah.
I see you, Coca-Cola. Shut off.
And to save on budget, because you got to have a flashback to where they're from. You do
Oh,
it
yeah.
just like in Psycho Gorman, where he's on the motorcycle about to attack the alien. So you get this flashback, and then it stops abruptly for some weird reason.
Well, it's because they
Like-
get hit with Super Soaker when everyone's telling them. Also, we could add in water balloons. You could have a big water balloon fight.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's a badass when she's got the hose at the school dance.
Oh, yeah.
Although that guy is a dick because he's like, she's fine, she's got this, and they
Totally leave her
leave her
there.
alone
Just
fighting maniacs.
all by
She's
your
like
lonesome.
blowing holes through these things.
That was awesome. Yeah.
It's amazing. I love this whole thing. I love the Battle of the Bands. I read a review where someone's like, we spend 10 minutes here. I'm like, it's an awesome 10 minutes. I love the songs they're playing. I love seeing all of the costumes that everyone's wearing because you're like,
Those are some legit costumes too.
Yes.
Like the one person in the Spider-Man outfit.
There's
what
a
else
Spider-Man, a
was there?
Mr.
there's
Miracle.
a Mr. Miracle. We were just talking to J-Man about
Once
covering
again,
this,
that's
and he
more
knew
of-
that.
Yeah.
80s. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's,
There was a very, very tall guy in a Chewbacca-esque outfit.
Yeah, it was
That-
not.
That
It
kind
wasn't
of
quite
gives the
movie
finger.
accurate.
No, but he kind of gives the finger to one of the maniacs because
He does.
it was just one of those side things in the background that.
But
just
it's
made me
so
laugh.
silly, but it makes so much sense that, of course, it's a costume party. That's how the maniacs can walk in.
Oh, yeah.
And one girl starts dancing with one of them. I'm rolling when she's like, she's like giving him shit. Like, come on, move around, dance with me. And he's just
she,
like,
she wants it.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
like,
he's-
I'm getting ready to.
She's into it. Whatever that guy was, she was like, "Let's go." It
And
was
they also
Mohawk,
end-
wasn't it?
No, it was one of the other ones. Mohawk just kind of kept going.
Oh
through
yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd.
Well, she spilled her drink, and that guy backs up because like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
she
water,
spills the
right?
drink and he walks away and
that-
she gives him shit about it. The whole there's a whole bus scene that was amazing. Like they get away, they're running from them and they get away, and then Mohawk's arm comes running right into
Oh,
the
yeah.
window.
There's an open window in the bus, and our hero is sitting on the seat right in front of said window.
Yeah.
Bus is in motion. Somehow
Moving.
Mohawk's arm comes through. Like the bus is in motion. How did you
He's a
run up there?
maniac.
And,
yeah, dude,
I
you
guess
can
it
run
was
real
maniac.
fast when you're a maniac.
And then the bus driver yells at him for smoking.
He was Keanu Reeves. He's like, I'm getting on this
Right.
bus. It can't hit 55 miles per hour. And
Okay.
he reaches, and then they slam the window shut and cut off Mohawk's
arm, yeah.
arm. And then they start getting attacked by the arm because he's
It was
trying to
great,
throw it out
though.
the
It's
window. Oh, it
such
was
a great
fantastic.
And
It's
even
real good.
before that, there's a subway scene, and like you and I watched this together. I went, I honestly don't know how they're going to get out of
How are you
this.
getting out of this?
Like, it was actually like not intense, but it was just like a
There's
good
some tension.
plot
There's-
device where it's like,
Yeah.
oh wow, they're honestly cornered by the Neon Maniacs right now. They're
Completely.
on a subway. One of the Neon Maniacs is driving it. I was like, I don't know how they're going to get out.
I
of
love
this.
the
Oh,
one
he's having a good
driving-
time. He's having such a
was-
good time.
It was
They're driving the bus
Juice,
or
the
the
electric one. He's like
Oh, yeah.
driving the subway train. I was
bouncing up and down
just-
his chair.
He was having a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But even then, the conductor gets killed really cool. Like,
Yeah.
as this movie's going on, there's great deaths in it. You get great. That's the one thing. None of these characters are underutilized. It wasn't like we got to see the
No.
Neon Maniacs at the beginning of the movie and didn't get to see them at
Oh,
all.
they
know,
they use
they are
those costumes
peppered
all
in
the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got their money
in a
out of those
really,
costumes.
really well way. Yeah.
Doc got what I figure is the most amount of like one-on-one screen time when he's cutting the heart out
Oh,
of
yeah.
that security guard.
But we don't
whatever
see him
the
till
main-
that scene. I don't think.
Yeah,
he just
Doc
appears.
just appears.
Uh-huh.
So that could even be a great, because by that time that one melted and the one from the little girl died.
Mhm.
The real reason they did it is because they didn't have enough actors to fill all the things. So they're like,
And a doctor's costume is real cheap.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Doc is Andrew Divoff. That's who that is.
Oh,
But
okay.
that's the most gruesome kill, because he's
Oh, yeah.
carving into this guy. He pulls the guy's heart out of his chest.
As it's
He's got like
beating.
this little doctor bag with him. It is so freaking cool. But yeah, it's what's frustrating. This movie's fantastic. It just doesn't end, and it doesn't have one cohesive story.
It doesn't.
But
does it?
everything it has is amazing, though. That's what's really frustrating, is you just see where they could go. In my own mind, I'm putting it together, and then they'll be like, nah, let's do this now. And it's like, mother.
Especially in a
what?
time that has so much like slasher movies, and this does slasher movie like tropes, but
Yeah.
and then some,
Mhm.
And it's just a shame because whenever this movie was shut down after it ran out of money so damn quickly, I think it was the backers pulled out or didn't give them the money, something like that. when I read
Something about
it.
they got started, and they actually didn't get all of the money that
Yeah.
they thought they were going to have.
So they went months without it, and I'm guessing in that point too, there could have been rewrites, there could have been stuff lost in the process.
Well,
when
there's
it
also
all came
people
back
not
together.
getting paid. Like
Right,
if
yeah,
you got
so
a writer
they're-
and they're like,
they're
"Hey, I
finding
ain't been
jobs.
paid yet."
Right.
Yeah. So I don't fault the director. I don't fault the
No,
actors.
and
I don't
that's the one
fault
thing with this
anyone but
movie.
the backers. That's the money line is who I blame everything on in this movie.
Mhm.
And I can't just go, it's the studio. No, this was probably fairly independently done, and they got investors, and the investors screwed up getting them the money.
They messed up whatever they did, and this
With-
is something
with the
where
look-
like you picture Trauma would have had a
Yeah.
home run because they could have done it on a real low budget with their team in house, but that
I
wasn't
love
the case for
Trauma,
this.
but this felt way more elevated than Trauma.
Yeah, it wasn't quite
Yeah.
as
I mean-
tongue in cheek, like blatantly tongue in cheek.
Blake,
there isn't
yeah,
there isn't a serious trauma movie out there, and I'm all there for it. But
right.
this took itself seriously. It didn't tell any jokes, but it was still
They were so funny.
wonderfully.
There
There's
was
still some humor in it without telling any jokes. Where Trauma tends to they like to tell jokes, and
They
again,
tell-
that's just fine.
they tell you the joke.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not
They beat you
comedy.
upside the head
Exactly.
with the
Well,
joke.
yeah.
They went, we just said something, now laugh.
Mhm.
You know. But I mean, this is also 1986, so I give this movie a ton of credit for how
Sure.
early it is, and like we said, as early as it is in the slasher genre.
Yeah.
I mean, by 86, how many Jason movies have been out? Like 6?
10. Oh, 6.
Not by-
Yeah, not 10 yet.
Well,
no, we haven't
you've
gone to
had
space
6
yet.
Jason, 4 Freddy's,
At least, yeah.
4 Halloweens. You've had
Oh, yeah.
your Texas Chainsaws, 1 and no, maybe not
Just
2.
two. Well, no,
Was
Yeah.
2 out by then?
no, because 2 came out like 11 years after the first.
Yeah,
Right,
it was
yeah. So
late.
you've only had the
Uh,
one from
You've
that
had your
one.
Hellraiser came out, your Gremlins and
No, Hellraiser
Critters
wasn't even
came
out yet.
Yeah, no
What? No?
Hellraiser.
No.
Hellraiser
would've
was
had
like
the-
88,
You would
89.
have had Burning.
Burning, yeah.
Our buddies just covered The Town That Dreaded Sundown, even though
Yeah.
it's not a good movie.
Yeah,
but
Spoils
it's
of Horror just
considered-
covered that.
It's
It's-
still one of the earlier
Yep,
slasher
it
movies.
sure is.
That's
So yeah,
1970 some.
So it's
Yeah,
right in
it's
the
real
middle.
early.
It's I suppose it's at the forefront of them, but there's
No.
still a lot.
But
I
to
mean,
me, this
Chopping
is like
Ball,
what
all the
modern movies
Silent
are
Night,
trying
Deadly
to
Night.
emulate with the 80s. It's like, oh, they're trying to emulate Neon Maniacs that Neon Maniacs was already doing in that time frame. And that's
Right,
what
this-
blew me away so much.
This isn't tropey at all. Like there's
Not
things
really,
that
no.
they've taken from others before them, but they're also doing some amazing
So,
stuff. You
then
know.
this begs the question: how would we fix them? How would we end the movie?
I end
because
the movie by
we
making
see
a second
them
movie.
going to go do battle with them, and it just ends.
Yeah,
you
they've
know,
got a
we
they've
never
got a
get that
posse. At the
resolution.
end of the film, they decide to listen to the kids. They grab a posse together and go to the maintenance shed under the bridge. Right.
Right.
That's basically what it is. They get in there and there's nothing. There's nothing but that van. And so the lead cop says, "All right, everybody go home. Good night. Bye." And everybody goes home. Cop turns around as if he was going to say something or meet somebody there, opens up the van and gets sucked into the van by the vortex or whatever it might be. End of the movie.
Well, it was one-eyed creature. That
Oh, the
grabbed
one-eyed
him.
creature, right. Pulls him in.
So what I would do is I would give you a false ending at that point. We carry on just as the movie is. He gets pulled in, doors close, camera pulls out, door to the water treatment, whatever, the bridge is there. Couple of beats, he comes back out. Coat's gone, shirt is ripped, blood coming down his head. He gets on a radio, calls everyone back, gets them all to turn around, come back. He knows they're in the van now, and now they have to decide, do we lure them out or do we, not knowing it's interdimensional, they just know something to do with this vehicle. They now have to come up with a way to destroy this vehicle. And the Neon Maniacs have to somehow get out of it so
Right,
that
drive
there is
into
a
the water.
final fight. And honestly, if you're going to set it up next to the Golden Gate Bridge,
Mhm.
integrate that water into it. Like
Mhm.
bring the fight on top of the bridge and throw the last one over the bridge into the water.
That's a massive budget you're wanting there.
You want me to fix the movie?
It's also it's us. That's awfully insensitive. There's a lot of people that commit suicide off the Golden Gate Bridge, and that
This
might
is
not.
86. Okay, I'm still in 1986. Stop trying to bring me down, Pete. We are not PC in 1986.
I'm not trying to be PC, but I'm like, oh.
No, but we are fully insensitive in 1986. Okay,
Right.
That
totally
thought
fine.
didn't cross my head at all.
It never did mine either. Here goes Pete trying to bring the whole room down with suicide, which is not a
Okay.
great thing. I'm with you, but if you set it at the bridge, someone needs to fall off the bridge.
Yes.
You know how many movies I've watched with cars running off of the Golden Gate Bridge? How many monsters have taken out the Golden Gate Bridge?
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you give them this much shit about, you know what, Godzilla? That's a little insensitive.
Did Godzilla attack the bridge?
I have no idea. I just knew
I feel like
kaiju
he
something
did.
from Pete.
That might have happened in Pacific Rim. I
came
don't
from
know.
beneath the sea, I think, was a giant octopus. Yeah, it took down the
One
Golden
of
Gate.
those,
Yeah.
you know,
Gary
Gamera,
Allison, black and white.
maybe.
Yep.
Gargantuan.
Like,
I don't know.
I guess the way I would end it was like take the kind of remove some of these final scenes after the school fight. You know, they start to run amok in the suburban neighborhood, and then that's where the final battle would happen.
So you'd have like
I
a
could see
critters thing or a gremlins thing happen in the town with the.
I'm thinking more of like a Night
Maniacs?
of the Creeps type ending where
Oh, okay.
where
I
like
don't know, I
they
kinda
have
wanna
to
see 'em
hold
in a
up
bar
at
right
one
now.
house or
Yeah,
something
me
like
too.
that.
If they drink beer though, they'll die, right?
Ah, damn it, you're right. I was like,
Yeah.
man, how cool to see the Neon Maniacs in a
Maybe
bar.
they need to smoke. They'll find their way to a CBD store.
They got the one-eyed one who we're now going to just call the dumb one that can't change shape. They have him turned upside down doing a keg stand, and they're all just like, go,
and then he just starts to dissolve. They're like,
As
no,
he's melting.
no.
His face literally dissolves. Yes. And the ape one is the one that's going, oh, go. Oh.
Beer is liquid.
Who's the dumb one now, ape guy?
We fixed it. We fixed it. I don't know.
There's
I
definitely
could,
a lot to work with here.
there is.
Yeah,
for damn sure.
So here's what I would do. So
What would you do, Pete?
keep the end as it is. The cop walks back in there, walks up to the van, opens the back door, and you get this light shining on his face, and the camera is on his face as the light is shining on it. And the last thing he says is, "What?" And that's it. Credits. Opening scene of the sequel is, "The hell are you doing? Knock it off. You're supposed to be asleep for the next 5 years. We aren't ready for this."
Oh, the cops are in on it.
Oh, totally. Totally, the cops are in on
See,
it.
I want to get that through line back somehow. Like that's what I would have the girl.
We talked about it
figure
earlier,
out.
Nate, where
Yeah.
the two cops were talking about, is this girl the chosen one, or not the chosen one, but the one? Is she the one?
We
And
could
there was
find the old version of the guy that was on the phone that the detective said, forget it, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because he knows something. We find him now in a retirement home or whatever. If it's
Yeah.
only 10 years, he's just older, and that's where we get the whole backstory of how the cops know about it, why their headshots are in the alleyway for the poor fisherman to find. It's like some kind of offering that the fisherman screwed up, and now that's how they got loose or something.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many ways to do it. I want to take years one. I want to change mine up that we don't have a final fight on top of the Golden Gate.
Yeah.
I want to say that the cop opens up the back of the vehicle, realizes it's the portal, slams the doors, jumps in the driver's seat, and drives it into the water. I don't know what's the body of water that goes under
San
Golden
Francisco
Gate
Bay.
Bridge. Drive it into the bay to drown the portal. If water's their weakness,
Then hopefully that'll close the portal,
the
right?
whole thing,
Or at least
destroy
prevent
it in
them
water.
from coming through again.
Right. Something. Now, let the portal still be in the van,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's underwater and it's just like instant, barrier. There's 1,000 ways to fix this movie, but to me, only way I can do it is with a sequel. I fix it with a sequel.
Yep.
All right, we got to do
lot to work
something
with
else.
here.
Yeah. Pete gave us homework tonight.
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
He did.
This shouldn't take very long.
Oh no,
We got
it shouldn't. It shouldn't. So we had 12 Maniacs. I think there was one little trivia that there was supposed to be 26 of these Maniacs running around.
26
so
were
insane
planned.
to think of.
Were planned, but
26
they only
were
made
planned.
12. Okay.
They only
okay.
made 12. Yes.
So I was thinking, fellas, what is your Neon Maniac creature and power? Charlie, you go first.
After I wrote down all their names going, well, I can't get way creative because they didn't either. I'm just going to be Nail Gun. And obviously, I'm going to carry around an air-powered nail gun that is not connected to air at all.
Thank
and
you.
I'm going to become the thing I hate most in movies is shooting a nail gun that's not connected to anything.
How about
not
you
battery-powered?
Connect it to your butt, and you'll have to fart every time.
Oh, I should have a hose attached to me somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
just-
definitely.
Or it goes
Okay.
into your head where all that hot air is.
I hook it to the back of my neck. Yes.
And then
That
like you'll have a bunch of pockets that hold all your nails, so you look like a Rob Liefeld character.
I'll have like a
Oh,
carpenter's vest on. I can
Yeah.
do that. I can
yes,
do the
yes.
carpenter's vest with all the pockets.
With a carpenter's square and a couple of other carpentry things.
I'm going as because there was already an axe, and normally that's who I take. So I'm nail gun.
Right. Nail gun. Nate,
All
lay it
right.
on me, brother.
I'm hanger. So you would think with rope, no. I am actually got hands are hangers, like that hold your clothes. After realizing how many banties I owned, and then I have these hangers, and then they poke your eyes out, or I try to. But with the power of my hanging, I can also hold your shirts very nicely.
You're making this harder for Charlie.
I feel like he just came up with this and totally forgot about the homework.
No, I
Yeah,
wrote
me
down
too.
hanger, and I knew that I was going to have two hands for hanging.
I feel that he was looking around his room going, well, I can't be called pop vinyl. They don't know what that is in the 80s.
I can't be
Oh,
torch.
yeah. Hanger. I'll be hanger. That's just a hang my clothes up later moment.
Right.
Pete, you got a follow-up hanger.
Yes, I am the undercoat. Now, those of you who have pets know that undercoats of pets are something that keeps them warm and cool in the winter and the summer.
I thought he was being a mall pervert.
That's what I was going
No,
for.
my little dog upstairs sheds so much. I can just do one room and my vacuum is completely full. So I am the undercoat where I am going to shed on people. Sadly, my superpower only works on people with heavy allergies. So I have limited effectiveness in the population.
You're
but,
really just a
but
minor
that,
inconvenience.
But that one person, that's really allergic to cats and dogs. That's
oh,
my
buddy,
guy.
they're gonna be sneezing.
They're gonna regret meeting me.
And that's the day you'll regret meeting the Neon Maniac undercoat.
Nailgun just shot himself in the head. What maniac stabbed Archer and tried to drag him out of the dance? Was that the one-eyed goofy one?
Yes.
Y'all
Yes,
remember? Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Because
almost seemed like he had a different agenda. Like, I don't know, man.
I had no idea what was because then someone is dragging a girl out with the same hook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Archer has been, and it looks like Archer's like cussing the guy out with his eyes. Like, what are you
You son of a
doing?
bitch, drop me.
Right.
You got
I
the
will
wrong
say,
dude, man.
The one thing with the school is when you had the soldier open fire into the dance
with an
in
M16.
a modern time, it was just like, ooh, oh boy. All right, I understand this is 1986, but ouch, this does not.
Yeah.
No,
I had that thought. Also, I was like, he's not killing a lot of people.
Oh,
like, those
no,
bullets
he's
really aren't
terrible
killing
aim.
a whole lot of people.
Clearly has bad aim. He went to the stormtrooper school of shooting.
Oh,
rifles.
definitely. Like when that happened, I think Pete and I were just like, ooh.
Yeah. Can't make this movie today. Not with that scene, at least.
All right, you guys ready to do the body count or
Let's do it.
raining blood? That's literally in this movie.
Yes.
Raining blood.
Yes, it was raining blood.
Just picture a girl in a bathing suit floating in a pool.
It's Heather Lockley.
Pete, put your pants
You're in
back
a forest.
I
with
will
Heather
not put my pants
Locklear.
back on. I am disappointed that this is an 80s slasher and we didn't get any boobs.
None.
No boobs. We got
None.
our adorable blonde gal
Because
who's
they
our
aimed this
protagonist.
as a
She was
kid's
in
movie.
two nice swimsuits, one piece and a two piece.
There's literally
was
a girl giving dude head in this movie. This ain't a kid's movie, Nate.
Right.
All right, you got me there.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's okay.
Yep.
So
She
I'm
gave head to him
confused.
twice. Like,
well, yeah, she
Eh,
gave. Okay, yeah. This one's confusing. Just as they say there's 12 maniacs, let us introduce you, and they only say 10. There's a line the cop says that there's like 50 students missing and a
Right.
bunch of my cops. The actual count from the movie, there's 28. So
wow, that's a lot
impressive.
for a slasher.
it's a pretty
Yeah.
big massacre at the cool.
Mhm.
Like people
But
do
that-
die at the school
yeah.
dance. So
it must be
and
on-screen deaths rather than
That's what I'm
whatever the
thinking. I
cops
think
are
there was
guessing, yeah.
probably other things that were going on.
Mhm.
Plus, there's quite a few people at the beginning of this movie. Like almost every
There was,
maniac gets
what,
a kill.
maybe 8 at the very beginning.
You got firecracker dude, guy laying on top
Yeah,
of other
yeah.
girl under that guy, girl in the van, guy getting head, girl giving head, biker dude. And I want to say there was like 8 or 9 kids
Yeah.
at this beginning, and only one survived. So I mean, that's a pretty good chunk. And then
Yep.
4 maniacs get melted down, and then the massacre at the school dance. So it's a hefty body count.
It's good. It's good. And very few of those kills are boring. Most of them are
No.
really entertaining.
Speaking of which, let's pick our favorite one.
Okay.
What do you think? Zombie kill of the week?
Nate, you're in charge.
Oh, I thought you were okay. My bad.
I can do it, but this is
No,
the horror.
Pete, what was your kill of the week?
Probably the best kill was the Neon Maniac that got tossed in the tub and melted. That's probably the best kill. Which one was my favorite? It came out of left field, and I think I jumped when I was on Nate's couch.
Please say it. Please say it. Please say it.
It's when the young girl has the fire hose and it blows the Neon Maniac's head straight off of his shoulders. I had no like, whoa, and it made me laugh uncontrollably. It was wonderful.
I was hoping it was that one. Oh my god.
That's my favorite. There was a better kill, but that one is my favorite.
Nice. Charlie, is yours the same?
Exactly. The better kill is the tub, but when that head flies off of his body, when the hose shoots across, and then goo starts flying up out of his neck onto the lead guy and someone else, and they are covered in green and white goo, and the body's still standing there. I was losing it. I was like, this is fantastic.
Well, it was one of those moments that this movie keeps on going.
Right.
You know?
Because we got insanity when the Roman candle blew through Samurai's chest. That was funny. And I love that. And the soldier gets like, he's a puddle, when they show him after she hoses him down. But that head pops off his neck, flies up in the air, and there's goo. So, Nate, is it the head pop?
It's not that one. I feel bad. I feel bad. Get this. To me, it's the girl getting her head cut off when she's going down on that guy. Because then Pete and I were like, so what happens to him?
Right. Okay, you just
in the middle of that, you cut her head off, and I've never thought about this before, so a new fear has been unlocked. But like, her head getting cut off while performing that act, does the mouth close? Does it clench? He did not seem to mind at all.
No, he was.
But then he was instantly cut in half too. So,
but it didn't cut his legs. But then he got cut in half after the fact. So, it's.
I don't know, but it was just one of those, like, having the head still there. It was just like, that can happen. That could happen.
Well, you could have had an involuntary clench.
Yeah, that could be, the 1,000 Ways to Die show. That'd be like kill number 987.
Well, then the head falls away, and you've got this bleeding stump. There's your special effects, man.
If you've ever watched Piranha 3DD,
yes,
never saw a Double D one.
There's a scene.
3DD is hilarious. Oh
yeah, there's a sex scene it'll make you really question where you put your stuff.
Really bad. And
I want to add something to our kill of the week. So I didn't prep you guys on this because I figured it'd be more fun to just throw it out there. What is your favorite maniac? Of Neon Maniacs.
I already know mine. It's the samurai. That guy was cool looking.
Yeah, samurai
was badass looking. He looked legit.
Yeah.
Like I could use. He doesn't need 11 other maniacs. I'd watch a movie of just that character.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
was cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pete, what about you, bud?
I like the Cyclops. Like I think there's
you
more
like
to
Dave?
That. Yeah, right. Kevin, right.
Kevin.
I think there's more to that character. I think he might be more powerful than he is. And maybe he's more intelligent than he's leading on. Maybe he's the leader. I don't know. He looked interesting. He intrigued me. Like I want to know more about him.
That's a good thought because when I watch this, I kind of look at Archer being the leader, the way they kind of set him up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's the leader in here. My favorite is the biker. I love the biker guy because he gets into a fight with the biker kid in a chain fight.
Oh, yes.
And normally I'd be like, and he breaks the kid's leg and the kid does I say kid, this guy's like 30, but he does this like, like my leg just got broken and he falls down. But it wasn't that scene. It's later when they're at the school dance and the maniacs attack, when he drives a motorcycle through the wall into the hallway.
Oh, that's true. That was so awesome.
And they do a close-up on him like he is the baddest motherfucker there.
He's the
And
bad
just,
boy of the school.
and he busts through. He looks like Lobo from DC just come running through there. And I was like, that dude's my favorite. I love the biker guy. And it's the simplest makeup. It was like Frankenstein gray. He has a chunk taken out of his cheek, and everything else just looks like the Village People biker.
Right.
But he was my favorite. I loved the biker maniac.
I think that's a fair one to have.
All
Yeah.
good choices.
Yeah.
All good choices. Yeah.
All right, boys, let's rate this bad boy. This is the difficult part.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back.
Because there's a lot of and yes or and what and
Right.
and
This
maybes.
is
Yeah.
not clear cut. It's almost okay. Let's do this fair. We get 2 scores.
Okay.
We get our actual critical score and an enjoyment score.
Okay.
Fair? I
That's
think
fair.
for a movie like this is
Mhm.
we've never ran across anything like this. And normally we do not have a great track record with cold watch movies. I mean, in
No.
all reality. We
Yeah,
have
like
not
that.
had
That's true.
That was also another reason I went no, because
I knew that's why you said no, but it said Neon Maniacs.
Right. Right.
All right. Nate, you're supposed to be leading.
all right. So then,
Do you remember how to do this,
fart.
Nate?
brain fart.
Nate,
But
stay
you
stay
pick-
off
pick-
of your phone. God
Pick,
damn it!
pick
I
one
see
of
you
us.
fucking around on your phone. Turn it off. Throw it in your toilet. It's distracting you.
Pick one of
It
us
is.
to.
Are you getting dick pics from me? Because I could send them to you.
you could.
I was
Yeah,
going to
all
say
right, all
stop
right.
sending them to him, Pete.
Oh,
He's
Yeah,
not going to
that-
wait
come
till
on
we're
now.
done to open them.
Oops.
I'm salivating over here.
You got me salivating. Man, it's just...
Now we need some smooth saxophone.
All right. So Pete, you're going first. What's
am
the
I?
score you're giving this bad boy?
Okay, so I get 2 scores.
2.
So a
2
critical
categories.
score. It's an unfinished movie. It's not a bit. It is a big mess. If I ever hear a red winged blackbird again, I'm going to go crazy because that damn bird tweeted ladies and gentlemen, do
Are they
not
even
play.
native to the area?
That's a great question. I don't know. There, yes, that's the noise. that's the bird. Every day shot has a number of birds in the background, and yes, that one.
You could tell
Um,
that his special interests were birds because I didn't pick up on that noise at all until he started pointing it out.
Oh, it's driving me crazy. I'm like, okay, you've got a red-winged blackbird in the neighborhood.
You
Jesus.
just reminded me of something. I'll save it from my side, but you just reminded me of something I was doing in the movie.
Excellent. So as far as like critical, this is not a good movie. It's but I have a high tolerance for bad movies, so I'm going to give it like a 6 for being a movie. And it's not done. It was entertaining. The acting wasn't bad. The effects were very, very good. But since it's a truncated film, I can't hardly give it a great score. So I'll give it a 6. I would have had a good time with this sitting on my couch by myself, but I had the fortune to sit there on Nate's couch with him. This is an 8. No, 8.5. I had a ball watching this movie. I think everyone should go see it. 8.5.
Fantastic.
Nice. Charlie, what about yourself?
All right. So should I bust myself out first for what I was doing in this movie?
I
Pete's
totally wanna hear it.
bird? So when the girl goes to the Golden Gate Bridge maintenance shaft, I kept hearing bells, like bells. And I was going, oh, there's a church nearby. Oh, I wonder if I can figure out what time it is that they're filming this. It's like, I wonder how good they were with editing.
Really?
I counted. I got up to like 14 going, something's wrong here. Then it got dark and I heard the bells again. Then I remembered that they're at the Golden Gate fucking bridge and it's a buoy out in the water going,
It's not a church. It's a buoy.
Nope.
You both amaze me with what you pick up on. And then there's me going, That's Dave. That's a really cool monster. He's gonna kill someone. That's cool. Oh, it's rated blood. That's awesome. While you two knuckleheads are like, what audio auxiliary noise is going on in the background? And then there's just me going, ha ha, cool, gore.
I kept hearing it that the parents had left her alone at the evening. You knew they came out at night. So I was like, how much time does she have? And for whatever reason, I went, it's a low budget. They never edited out the church gongs, which usually tells you the time. You know, they would ring for however many hours it is. Until I counted over 12 and I went, something ain't right.
They don't. Church bells
Then
don't work on military time, Charlie.
it dawns on me that it's a buoy out in the water. And I was like, oh my God.
Cling, clanging, bonging around.
Yeah. So here's my rating. Critical. They were almost there. Like, regardless of not having an ending, they were almost there. There was almost a cohesive through line. I feel like there probably was one, and in somewhere in editing, they just started eliminating stuff because they go, well, that doesn't make sense. We don't have an ending.
Print.
Yeah.
She probably was a sacrifice, but because there's no ending, that makes the ending even worse if she's the sacrifice. So I'm not as mad about the editing. The pacing for a movie that doesn't have a whole lot of going for it as far as story was really good. I'm never bored.
It doesn't
in
stop.
this movie.
Right. There's no.
That's the
wasted
crazy
space.
part.
Right.
Like, there's not a moment of just like, come on.
This
get
movie's
it
like
going.
an hour and a half. Like, this is like the effects are amazing in this movie.
Yeah.
I am not upset at the acting. The actors aren't annoying.
Nope.
They're just the trope of those are obviously 20 and 30-year-olds playing high school students. That is in every movie. Like, I literally just watched Nukem High the other day, and there are literally 30-year-old teenagers running around that movie.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nukem High. God, love it.
So critical, I think I'm going to be right there. I think I'm right at about 6.5. If I'm going to be critical,
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's better than average because they were touching gold. They just could not get it to come together. Enjoyment, I'm like 8.5, 9.
Nice.
Like, if I'm being 100% honest, it's probably 9 on how much I am so obsessed with this movie right now. It has to be a 9 because I need to finish this. This is one of those like Moby Dick moments where it's like, I saw the white whale and now I gotta go kill it.
Sure you did, Grandpa.
Yeah. I am Ahabbing Neon Maniacs. So I'm saying 9.
I'm gonna look that up on Urban Dictionary.
I just coined that. That's copyright here. Trademark.
Copyright Charlie TMTM.
Nate, what about you, Bubba?
I think for me, because of the broken ending, even with that, critically, it's still a 7.5. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. Like, all around, it was something that I could picture teenager me really relating to.
Oh, okay.
You know, like, it was something that I really gravitated towards adult me as well, because of just having that like one girl character that's a big movie nerd, and it was just like seeing that and seeing like the unlikely friendships form amongst our characters as well.
Right.
You know, and having the killer like slasher opening, like, that is something that called to me back then, calls to me now, all around. And then like pure enjoyment, it's an 8.5. Like,
yeah.
So literally, if you gave me an ending, this would be one of those movies I feel like I would have been ranting and raving about all the time. I would be constantly at like the horror conventions looking for artwork, looking for the VHS tape, looking for
you know what
everything.
this is. And we need to back up a little bit. There is a cold watch Nate and I have done that we absolutely adore. But I was reminded so much of Deadly Spawn with this movie that Deadly Spawn gave us an ending. And, you know, it's super low budget. You know, it works really well. But it was even down to where the girl and the kid from Deadly Spawn both had that horror movie vibe to them. They love special effects, all that stuff. And that I was like, man, there's just something about that type of movie that speaks to me
Well, like,
even if it doesn't have $1
everyone
million
always
budget.
goes like, "Oh, it's got that Goonies effect," and it's just like, I get what you're saying there, but like, I've never really felt relatable to any of the Goonie characters. Probably Sloth out of all of them. Like,
Yeah. Hey, you guys.
yeah. So
But-
like like these type of movies, like I find something to latch on to, you know?
Right.
And
It's why I put it as the just child adventure type movies. Yes, that is Goonies is the go-to. That's like boom, it's up here. Everyone knows what the Goonies is. Everyone knows what you're talking about. But it's also like E.T. You know, it's also, any,
Lost Boys.
Explorers, Lost Boys, any of those kids on a journey
Stand
going
By
through
Me.
some
Yeah.
Race to Witch Mountain.
Stand By Me actually
Race
is
to
a very
Witch Mountain for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
But the Stand
Oh.
By Me vibe of how like serious that movie is, but man, it's just got all the right feels to it.
Yeah.
With a little tweaking, this movie could have done that too. That there could have been even better character connections, where they all are like inseparable by the end of the movie. They would not have left the poor girl with the water hose fighting off the
No.
maniacs while they go do
No.
the dirty in a lock. And let me tell you, for maniacs that will literally kill anyone and go after anyone, they're like, oh, that door's locked. Apparently no one's inside this classroom, and walk right by the window.
Maybe
was
she's
like,
a squib. Because you don't.
No,
wanna-
Pete.
Oh,
No.
No.
Stop.
Bad
Stop.
Pete.
But it's
Stop.
oh,
No.
gosh.
No. Stop.
Science.
It's science.
That's Neon Maniacs.
And if y'all are still just as confused as we are, we're still
You're welcome.
confused.
Yeah.
But man,
I-
go watch it. Go
Yeah.
watch it.
Please go watch
It's-
this.
Go check it out on
Seal
Tubi.
of approval.
Let's start, an online rally to get this to be re-released.
I'm with Charlie.
'Cause I need a
man.
physical
I
copy
could put
of
a lot
this.
of effort into an Indiegogo to get this thing made.
Yeah.
If we can get you guys know the right amount of people, the right.
I
think
got
we
some
can-
people I'm seriously thinking about talking to about this.
Yeah.
This may a lot of people would be like, well, I've listened to Charlie. He wants to remake all the cool action movies and stuff. I have not obsessed about a movie like till this one. This one has really been in my brain. If it's still in my brain in another week or two after we do Turbo Kid, actually Turbo Kid's going to just throw it into overdrive because I'm going to watch that and go, I need Neon Maniacs Turbo Kid style.
Well, like I have,
cannot wait.
there was only 2 issues I think of the Turbo Kid comic book,
Yeah.
but like Neon Maniacs, why don't I have a comic book of that?
Right?
We
This has
have
been a perfect comic
nothing.
book.
There
Yeah.
are 12 characters that can be sold as toys, much like Puppet Master. There's marketing here.
Hey, we're getting 13 Ghosts TV show finally.
Right.
And if they do it the way everyone has been asking since the movie came out, which means we should be getting backstory for each of the of the ghosts.
That remake was terrible. The original is super cool. The William
It was
Castle.
terrible. I
original.
love the remake.
Oh, it's bad.
With Tony
Oh.
Shalhoub. No, it's not bad. Tony Shalhoub? No.
No, I really like and like they're doing that TV. Yeah, no, I'm down
No.
for it.
That
didn't like the
movie's
remake.
so freaking gory and
Cool and fun.
insanely like the Juggernaut and
Matthew
the Jackal.
Lillard.
Oh my God, that
All right.
movie's so cool.
All right, I'll watch it again.
That
I-
junkyard where they crush that dude is so
I
badass.
was
We
really
got sidetracked.
mad
We
at
forgot trash opinions, and I did get one that I actually was like
Oh.
excited to read.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm
do it.
sorry. We're not done yet. Okay, trash opinion time.
Trash
I'm
opinion,
a
then we can
trash
roll
man.
up.
I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's going to be a disaster.
All right. This comes from MarCR12, who gave this a 1 out of 10 and said the worst movie I've ever seen.
You haven't seen a lot of movies, hun.
This is the worst movie I've ever seen. My friends and I actually paid money to see it in a theater back in 1985, and
Wow.
were laughing about how bad it was for hours afterwards. On the upside, we did have a good time making fun of it. It's worth seeing as a goof. The idea of people running around with water pistols to kill the Neon Maniacs was
Yeah.
just too ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the
that's
movie's
yeah.
abrupt ending in the rain with the comment, "This rain can't last forever." People in the theater were booing and moaning. So whether or not this person is telling the truth or not, that review was written in 2001. So it's a long time ago.
Ooh,
But it does make me wonder what the reception was of this movie back in
They
the
It
day.
did a
couldn't have been
theatrical
good.
release, right?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
also listed as 1986. So either
That's the other
she's
thing. Yeah.
not
That's-
remembering right, or
You know,
maybe
Could
there
be.
was a
IMDb isn't always great about
no. It's not. It's kind of like Wikipedia.
Release,
There's
release
There's
dates are
leeway with it.
I have
There's-
to believe if it did get, it had to have gotten released somehow.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever seen a VHS copy of this.
No.
movie. I have
Nope.
zero memory of this picture whatsoever.
I-
So if it did get like a limited theatrical run, I'm sure that killed it immediately. I mean, you're talking even in the 80s, and they knew it wasn't finished, and they still put it out there.
Yep.
So it's obvious.
But
I can't knock people for not liking this. I
Well,
have to say that.
especially
I
back
can't-
then. That's the thing
Yeah.
that fascinates me because I'm like, what we like discuss now with movies and the way you look back on stuff and how when stuff gets released at the time, audiences aren't fully appreciative of it. This
we
is
have a back
definitely
catalog
a movie,
of stuff.
yeah, that I could totally understand why people would be extremely upset on how this ends and just like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Well, that
and for it to just
trailer,
get buried.
that trailer's the original trailer, so that sells it like a
Mhm.
Jason movie or a Freddy
yeah.
movie.
That's
Yeah.
good
You know,
trailer.
it's really coming off as this is going to be the next thing that scares you to death. And it's just they didn't know how to market it because what story do you market? Do you market the adventure? Do you market the slasher? Do you market sci-fi? Any of those things fit in this movie. I can't fault people for not liking it. Like, even though they give them a 1, and I'm also like, there's enough in here where it's never going to get a 1. Those cool death scenes are cool.
And the
to
makeup.
all of that, never would this ever get a 1.
Death, makeup, and acting.
Yeah.
I mean, 1, 2, no less than a 3.
But I'm not going to be like, oh, you don't like it? What's wrong with you? You're going to be like, yeah, it's an acquired
No,
taste for
I
sure.
understand. But like us, we look at it and just look at all this potential and how much fun we had with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're looking at it like those kids they're portraying used to watch the Hammer movies and the old
Yeah.
monster movies. Like, some of those weren't great endings or
No.
great storytelling through it, but they loved what they got to witness on screen. They saw their favorite monsters. They saw people scared or die or something like that. That is what we're looking at when we watch Neon Maniacs. It's not a good movie, but there's a good movie in there somewhere. And we're able to see past all the bullshit, kind of fill in some of the gaps from our own experiences from movies, and also be like, I know how
Yeah,
to
we
fix
just
it. I know.
have a shit ton more movies that we've watched and experienced than what you
Yeah,
had in
we have stuff to
1986.
compare it to.
Yeah,
Even though
we
you
were
can't
able to rewatch a bunch of movies where back
You're
then
right,
it was
yeah,
way harder to rewatch movies.
Right, yeah. And not everyone had a VHS player or
Yeah.
a Betamax player or anything like that. We just have to rent those damn things. That wasn't cheap. So watch it. If you listen to our show, we already know
Go
you're
watch
going to be
it.
the type of people that
Yep.
want to watch
I
it.
want to thank Josh over at the Evil Deaths for
Thanks,
being real
Josh.
hyped about this,
Mhm.
and just having that piece of knowledge. Because typically when watching a movie, I do IMDb it in the middle of watching it just to see, what else is going on, and any of the slow parts. And as soon as the movie was over, instantly shot Charlie a text like, "Don't look up anything."
Don't
Like,
look up anything.
So that was the best piece of advice that Josh could have given us.
The whole thing was it didn't have an ending, and if you know that in advance, you're going to be ready for it. And
Yeah.
You're also probably starting to pick it apart. And
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think it is going to damage your perception of it. I love the fact that this is the best cold watch aside from Deadly Spawn I think we've had.
Yeah, definitely.
I really think so. And I'm glad I pushed hard for this one. Of Nate's month of Neon, this was my little part that I got to add to it.
So thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome. You're
You
welcome.
want to give
everyone.
the people the things that we get out of here?
I'll do the things. If you want to continue this conversation, you want to talk to us about Neon Maniacs, come on over to the Facebook group. Give me
Please
back my horror movies. Give me back my action movies is also over there. We are both on Instagram. We are on X. We are on Threads. We are on TikTok or is it TikTok. I don't know. It might be named something else by the end of the month.
Probably.
These episodes do come out on YouTube as an audio file. So if you like to listen to podcasts through that, you can do it there. But if you're listening now, you're already listening. And if you are listening and you haven't yet, please go rate us 5 stars over on Spotify and or Apple. You can leave us a review over at Apple. We haven't gotten a new review in a while, and we've gotten a lot of new listeners. There's someone in Sweden downloading us. So
Sweden, we need
thank
to hear
you.
from you.
Whoever
Thank you,
in
Sweden. Reach
is
out to us.
downloading.
Say
yes,
hi.
please reach out. Any of those places. Email
hear
us,
from you.
gmbmampod@gmail.com. So, however, please reach out to us. So yeah, that's how you get a hold of us. We have one more for the month of Neon, Turbo Kid, that we are
Oh my
all hyped
gosh.
for.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I am super
I'm
excited.
gonna watch it like 3 times.
Yeah. I bought the Raven Banner re-release. It's got like all the artwork
Yeah, I
on
need
the
to get that.
sleeve. Oh,
And
it's so awesome.
the 3
I got,
directors, they just announced 2 new movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they have 2 being shown at a film festival here soon. One was already shown, a zombie movie, and the other one, I can't remember what it's called right now, but yeah,
Right,
after
let's
waiting
save it.
years after summer of '84, they're finally coming back with a double feature. So I am
Yep.
stoked to see what they do with that.
And also, as of this recording, this day today, we just found out we are finally getting Prey on physical disc. So I
With
cannot
special features, I
wait.
hope.
I hope
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a ton of special
I
It's
features.
got
wanna
like
see
over
all
2
of it.
hours of
I
special
won't.
features.
I won't buy it if there isn't stuff on it.
I would still buy it if there wasn't, because I want a physical freaking copy to put with all my other Predator
Yeah,
movies.
that
Right,
steel book
right.
is mine.
Yeah, I am getting that. So, all right, gentlemen. Anything else?
Nope,
Yep,
I'm good.
that's
Thanks.
it.
All right, Nate. Why don't you get us out here with a good word?
Oh, I definitely will. Let me just.
Now, let's talk about how I get back home.